Christians, this person here says that we are all born sinners because we have free will and not because Adam sinned. This person is completely wrong, misguided, incorrect, completely telling something that is completely false. Let me explain. Romans chapter 5, beginning at verse 12. The verses are on the screen. It says, therefore, just as through one man sin entered the world and death through sin, and thus death spread to all men because all sinned. Then he says, for until the law, sin was in the world, but sin was not imputed when there is no law. Now notice I've said nothing so far about free will, because free will has nothing to do with sin or the fall, and it certainly is not something that is taught in the Bible at all. Man does not have free will. Man has a will that is in bondage to sin as a result of the fall of Adam, as we just read in verse 12, where again it says, just as through one man sin entered the world, and then death through sin, and thus death spread to all men because all sinned. Now, verse 14 is what you have to pay attention to. And the verse is on the screen. It says, nevertheless, death reigned from Adam until Moses, even over those who had not sinned, according to the likeness of the transgression of Adam, who is a type of him who was to come. Now, your Bible might say similitude or it might say likeness. But what it's saying is this. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over those who had not sinned after the manner of Adam. In other words, even if you did not commit the sin that Adam committed that caused death to pass upon all men, which would be required if you had a free will. So what he is saying is that the act itself has nothing to do with you becoming a sinner and being born a sinner. The act, any act that we could commit, in other words, has nothing to do with whether or not we are deemed a sinner. We inherited a sinful nature, and by propagation, we are born sinners, not by free will.